Hello everyone, welcome to today's video where I'll be showing you how I set up my brand new journal ready to start the new year. So I've got two of my previous journals here for inspiration, as well as my brand new bullet journal to unwrap. I always use these journals. They're made by Stationery Island and they're really nice. I love them because they've got really thick pages, so I can get away with using watercolour paints on the pages without them bleeding through. So if I unwrap this journal, I can show you the pages. They all have the classic dotted grids that most bullet journals have, and as I've said, are lovely thick pages at 120 GSM. There's also two ribbon bookmarks which are really handy as you start working in your journal. So if we look at my previous journals, I'll just get them out. We've got my turquoise one, which is the first one that I started working with, and my purple one, which is the journal that I have just finished. And if we flick through to the front, you can see all of these pages that I've created so far, but at the very front I didn't actually get round to setting up this journal properly, and instead all the front pages are still blank. I have sketched out the calendar page in pencil, but that seems to be as far as I got with that one. But if I show you my first journal, this is how it's going to look for this year. This is where I'm taking inspiration from. I really loved this setup. This was my classic year ahead spread. So for most people in the tarot community over on Instagram, you'll have come across this before, where you use a tarot card and you pull a card for each month of the year. I've then created a calendar month and I've added in all the moon phases for the entire year. I find it really handy to have this all in one place, and I've added in the zodiac signs and the dates. As you can see here, I've got a lot more blank pages before we get to the monthly setup. So I had a title page and then the month calendar with the moon phases and some zodiac information there too. So I was really happy with the setup for this last year. So this is going to be my inspiration for our new journal. So obviously the first page again is going to centre around this year ahead spread. So if we open up the new journal, that's what I'm going to put here on this first page in the same style as last year. So what I need to do first of all is grab my deck, grab any tarot deck that you love to work with. I always work with the Wild Unknown Tarot, and shuffle the deck and then pull one card for each month. And I also pull an extra card which goes in the centre, which is the theme card of the year. So it kind of gives me an overall energy reading for the entire year. So as you can see, I personally work like a clock face. So January is at the number 1 place on the clock face, and then I work my way around pulling one card for each month. And this just gives me an energy view for each month and what's possibly going to play out. So I do like to take a few notes as I'm doing this as well. So I'm noting down which card I've pulled for which month and writing down a few notes around the energy associated with that. And we're going to put all this information in our journals. So don't forget as well to take a photograph from above of this beautiful spread. I love how pretty it is, how it looks all laid out. There's something so powerful about this spread. And of course we've also got our theme card here for the entire year. Once we've got all of our cards, we're now ready to start putting this information down in our journal. So the first thing I do is I like to print out a photograph of our year ahead spread and cut it out so that it fits on this very first page. This is a really good way of decorating the inside cover of your journal too. As obviously this is always plain paper on this first page, and so it quite often ends up getting left blank. So it's just a really easy way to make this page really special and brighten it up a bit. So I'm just now adding in a title as well, to say year ahead spread, just so that it really illustrates what this page is about. So whenever I reference it, I can see straight away what it was and what I was intending to do. So once I've finished that first page, I flip over and onto the second page. This is where we're going to write down all of the messages but for now I've just actually glued the first 2 pages together because they don't lie flat properly. So I've glued them together, and then obviously on this next page we also have our dots. So I've used the dots then, that grid, as a guide to cut out a really nice straight line. And then we've got this kind of mini door which works really well at blending these 2 pages together, almost like one big spread with this little door in the middle. So again here I'm literally just going in and adding in the title, and it's just going to say 2021 journal. So again, just almost naming the journal and what it is and the intention around that. So with this title at the top, I've got this blank space at the bottom, and if you remember we pulled that extra card in our year ahead spread, so that's going to be what I place here at the bottom, is our theme of the year, and for me this is going to be my word of the year as well, taken from that theme card, that overall energy from the card that we pulled earlier. So as you can see as well, I'm going in with a pencil, and I do this throughout my journal. I always start with a pencil first, draw everything out, give myself some guidelines, and it's a really easy way to plan the layout without committing to it too much and feeling like you've done it wrong or it's gone wrong later on. So once I feel like I'm happy with the layout, then I'll go in with my pens, my black fine line pens, and I will just commit everything onto the page. So I know you guys will ask me, I always use either micron pens or Unipin fine line black pens. So these are my favourite ones to use. I'm also then just thickening up some of the lines. You'll see that just there. I'm not the best at doing calligraphy, and I find that this is just an easy way to make my fonts look bold, and it gives them a little bit of character as well. So as you can see, I just go in with my fine line pen again and thicken up any of the lines that I want, almost to create like a title type font. So this is a really handy little trick to know. I'm now adding in a few stickers because as you can see I've got a few little blank spaces, and also this is an easy way to add some colour and brighten it up a little bit. And then I go in and rub out all of those pencil guidelines from earlier. So it's a really nice neat page. So that first page is completed. Now we're ready to go on to the spread here with all of our cards and our messages. So obviously first of all I'm just going in with my pen and drawing out one box for each month. So obviously 12 boxes, 12 months. And then in each box I can write what the message is from the card that we pulled in our year ahead spread. So just down the side I'm adding in the title, again to remind myself later on what this is, what the intention was behind the page. And here you can see me thickening up my lines again using my micron pen. I always like to take my time with these first pages, especially because we're going to be using them for the entire year. So it's worth just taking your time to get them really nice and neat, and so that you're happy with them, because obviously throughout the entire year we'll be flipping back and referring to these pages, so it's worth, you know, making them really special in that way. So again, just going over all of the titles, just doing all of my fonts, and then I'm ready to start filling out each of the boxes. Also, as I said before, I love how these 2 pages sort of blend together to create one big spread, because I think it's important, as you can see the picture here of our year ahead spread, I think it's important to have that almost linked together with the messages, so it's really easy reference for you to be able to refer back to. So as you can see, the overall layout is pretty much finished. I'm just going to add in some colour now with some watercolours. This is one of my favourite ways to brighten up the page, and again this is why I love working in these journals, because although they're not intended for watercolour, and you will see they do buckle a bit under the water, but they come out beautiful and it doesn't bleed through the page, so it holds up really well. So I'm pretty pleased with that. That's pretty much finished. I have created this page as a printable for everyone on my Patreon. So if you're a patron and you subscribe to the printables level, then you will get that for free. And then I'm just going to add in some more stickers. So again, if you use the printable in your own journal, you can then add your own stickers, and that's a really fun way to personalise your own spread, make it more your own, and make it reflect the theme of your journal as well. So as you can see, and just again sort of laying out where I want the stickers to go before I stick them down, and just adding in a few little fun motifs, and it just brightens up the page a bit and personalises it. Now I'm ready to actually write in each card meaning, so I go through card by card and I fill out which card I pulled for which month, and then I'll go in and write out the actual message or meaning just to remind myself. And it's usually just 1 or 2 points, nothing massive, but it gives me an overall energy reading for what I'm likely to expect that month. So when that's all finished and I'm happy with it, we can move on to our next page, which I'm really excited about. And here finally we have our calendar for 2021. So I'm taking up the entire spread here, and I'm going to fill out every single month in miniature with the dates. So again, it's really easy reference, all on the same page. I'm also adding in our moon phases calendar. If you remember from my previous journal, that was something I really loved, having it all in one place so I can see the dates and easily refer back to this. So again, I sketched it all out in pencil, so now I'm just going in with my black fine line pen and committing all this information down on the page. So it does take a while to do this. It's worth taking your time, as I said before, and just making sure that you're happy with the layout that you've created. I'm also adding in lots of little doodles, and obviously, you know, I'm obsessed with my night sky doodles, so here we go. Just drawing all of these in as I go. And again, it's a really easy way to fill up any blank corners or blank spaces, just to add in your own little sketches or doodles. Here as well, I'm adding in a completely black background. It just somehow pulls the whole page together, and I love the black and white theme anyway. It really makes the page stand out. So I'm just going around and finishing all these off, and then I'm just drawing in my grid for my moon calendar. I did Google all of the dates just to double check that I had the right dates for each of the moon phases. So I do the first quarter, the new moon, the full moon, and the third quarter as well. So that's all ready for me to refer back to later on in the year. I've also written down, I don't know if you can see there, the name of each of the full moons. So for example, the wolf moon, the snow moon, the worm moon. So again, that's something that I can refer back to. And it's very monochrome, this page, so I decided to add in a little bit of colour. So again, I've just used a tiny bit of watercolour, not too much because I didn't want the page to buckle, but it just adds in something a bit more interesting. So if we turn the page, this is something new that I'm doing this year. I don't know if you remember from when we flipped through my old journal, I did have a little bit about the zodiac signs at the bottom. Well, this year I've decided to create an entire spread all around the zodiac signs. This is something I've been learning a bit more about over the last year, and so it's something I really want to concrete all this knowledge into my brain. So again, it's nice, easy reference to have it all in one place. So here, as you can see, I've got the dates, the corresponding tarot card, the crystal for that month, what the sign is, so like the water sign, the element sign, and the ruling planet for that zodiac sign. So again, I'm just going in, I've drawn out all 12 of the boxes for all 12 of the zodiac signs. I'm just filling out the information, and then I'm using my midnight sky doodles as well, so it ties this page in beautifully with the page we've just created before. So this is pretty much finished, and again I decided to create this as a printable along with the calendar. So if you're on my Patreon page, you will get the calendar and the zodiac pages as printables on the printable tier. And so now we're ready to turn over. If you watch my previous video, this was all about making a wish, and we had a card spread as well, so all of that comes from my previous video. I'll link that in the description box below so you can watch that if you haven't seen it. They're also the printables that my patrons got as well, so you can download them on Patreon. and then this is the final spread that we're putting together, which is our month. So we're now at the January theme page, so I'm doing a cover page here on the left, and as you can see I'm just drawing out the grid here on this right page, which will become the calendar for January. So again, I drew it all out in pencil first just to make sure that I had enough room for everything and the boxes were the right size. I'm also adding in some doodles, and I love how the vine just seeps across both pages, so again it pulls both pages together, so it's almost more like one spread. As you can see here, I'm using the Zodiac sign information that we just created, and from the printable, this is why it's so handy to have the printable, I've literally just cut out that box and stuck it in, so it makes it easy. So here we are on my calendar page, and I'm just drawing in little circles, and these are my moons. So this is where it's really handy back on our original calendar we've just created to have the moon phases all together in one place, because I always love to add the moon phases into my monthly calendar. Then it's just easy reference, and I'm literally transferring that information from one page to the next. So again, here I am just adding in all the details using my fine line pen, thickening up the lines there for January so it makes it more bold, and almost gives it like a title for our calendar. We've got our Zodiac section in the corner, so this page here is almost done. Now we're ready to go back to our main theme page here, and I'm actually using our tarot pull that we did from the beginning. So the tarot card that I pulled for this month was the Chariot, and I'm using that energy as the theme to create a little mood board here. So again, I'm just referencing that energy and any images that are around new beginnings as well, because it is January. So new beginnings, and the idea of that I'm going after what I want. I've got the courage to chase after my dreams, and things are happening, there's momentum here, so that's what these images are representing to me. So again, just having a little almost vision board is I think a really fun way of bringing that energy across and referencing our tarot reading for this month. And then last but not least, I'm just adding in a little bit of colour, and I'm using my watercolour crayons here, so I just draw in first and then go in with my water brush pen. And I'm using some of the colours from the photographs here on my mood board. So again, it just ties the whole page together. It has a similar colour theme, so they blend across as one big spread. And then I think it's pretty much... And now that I have set up my whole journal, I'm ready then to start recording all of my monthly readings. So that's what I use this journal for. So if we flip back through, we've got our year ahead spread on the first page, then our calendar for the year, our zodiacs for the whole year. I've then got my make a wish, which I need to fill out, and my card pulls, and then we've got the January spread as well. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. That is the full setup for this month. Don't forget that if you are a patron or you'd like to join my Patreon page, you will get these 3 printables over there so that you can use them in your own journal. Anyway, happy journaling, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!